What is up, beautiful people? It's your girl Cam and I'm back with another video. Today I am back with my review of my Kobo Libra Color. So welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. My name is Cam. This is Piece of the Plans, and I do hope you find some inspiration here. If you do, I hope you'll hit that like button and consider hitting the subscribe button as well. And don't forget to check the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post new content right here for you. If you're an OG, a day one, welcome back. I appreciate your support so much, and I'm so glad that you are here. I'm going to review the Kobo Libra Color. I've had this for a couple of weeks now, and the last video that I shared with you was just the unboxing, and I really wanted to get into this e-reader, and I wanted to use it and come back and share with you my thoughts, the pros and the cons about this e-reader. So let's get into it. I did buy this cover separately. It does not come with this type of cover. I have thoroughly enjoyed it though, because I have both of my e-readers in here. So I will link this cover, and it comes in different patterns. I'll link it down below in the description box. So I'm going to go over the pros and cons of this e-reader, hopefully really quickly with you. So the first thing I want to talk about is the color of the book covers, because that is really one of the first things that drew my attention to this e-reader, was the fact that the book covers were showing up on the screen in color. So let me tap on my books and let you get a good look at all of the books that I have in this e-reader right now. And I just love flipping through here and looking at all of my book covers in color. And in a previous video, I said that this color was like a comic book. I misspoke. It's more like a comic strip, like what you would find in a newspaper. I haven't picked up a newspaper in a long time. I get my news online, but if you remember what comic strip coloring was like, that is what this reminds me of. It's not crisp and sharp like you would find on your laptop or your tablet or your phone. It is more of a muted color, but it is good. The color is good, and I like it. I like it a lot. This is an e-ink reader device, so the color is not going to be super vibrant, but I do like the color that it provides. So that's the first pro. Just the fact that you can see your books in color. All right, the second thing I love about this is the ability to annotate with the stylus in color. This probably has been the most fun aspect of using this e-reader, is using this stylus to actually annotate in color on these pages. So when I read a book, one of the things I love to do is annotate right there in my book. And one of the downsides to using the Kindle was that the only thing you could do was highlight the passages and save them, and all the highlights were in the same color. With this e-reader, you can actually highlight and draw and write in different colors. So let me give you an example. So I'm inside the Court of Wings and Ruin right now, and I'm going to tap at the top of the page, and down at the bottom you'll see this little page icon with the tab or the corner turned down. So I'm going to tap on that, and that is going to bring up all of my annotations for this book. And I have quite a few of them, so it's going to take a minute for it to load up. But let me find one where I have done quite a bit of annotating on the page. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so here on this page, I've highlighted in one of my highlight colors, and I've also written on the page here. So I can write on the page in different colors, and I can highlight in different colors. I have this one highlighted blue, but I also have 3 other colors I can choose from. So I can highlight in yellow, pink, or green. And if I want to remove this highlight, I can take the eraser end of my stylus and just tap it, and it will completely erase that highlight if I make a mistake. It will also erase my writing if I make a mistake or if I don't want that to be included. I'm going to go back and highlight this again though, because I do want it highlighted. And I'm going to change the color to pink. And I'm going to change the color again to green. So I have these 4 colors I can work with: yellow, pink, blue, or green. Now, if I decide that I don't want that highlighted, I can use the eraser end of my stylus, or I can just tap remove highlight, whichever one is easier. I love the intuitive nature of this e-reader. I love how easy it is to use. I love the functionality of it. I'm going to go back to blue because that matches my annotation coding. So I'm going to go back to my annotations, and I'm going to choose another one. Okay, so you can see here I've written in the margin, I've underlined some passages, I've highlighted some passages. There's so much that you can do with the stylus in this e-reader. So I want to go to a different chapter. Let me go to part 2. So here on the part 2 cover, I know that we were going into the autumn court. So I just drew some fall leaves here in this blank space that was on the page. This e-reader has been so much fun. Like, I have had so much fun interacting with the text with the stylus. It's almost like having a physical book, but I don't have to have the physical books taking up space on my shelves. They're inside this device, and I can color code my annotation just like I would with a regular physical book. I love that. Okay, so let's talk about setting margins. So I'm in a different book now, and I'm going to tap the top of my page, and I'm going to tap this font icon. And here I can go in and change the margins on my page. I can change the font size. I can make it larger, or I can make it smaller. I can change the line spacing. I can make the lines between the text wider, or I can make them closer together. I can make the margins on the side of the page more narrow, or wider or more narrow by sliding this bar across here. I'm not going to touch my settings because I like the way I have my settings set up, but I just wanted to show you, when you go into this font icon, this is where you can go to change the font, to make it bigger, and to make the margins wide enough to write in, if that is something that you enjoy doing. Okay, so now let's talk about custom notebooks. So I'm going to go out of this book and back home, and I'm going to go down to the bottom of this main page where it says My Notebooks. And this is where I have my notebooks set up right now. So if I want to create a new notebook, I just tap on New, and I give it a name. Let's say Blood Marked, because that's one of the books I'm going to be reading soon. And hit save. Then I can tap on this little down arrow, and tap on the 3 dots here, and I'm going to say change page background. When I touch that, it's going to give me all kinds of templates to use for a notebook page. The one that I like is Cornell Narrow. So I'm going to tap on that and X out. And here is my Cornell Notes page all set up. So I can write on the screen, blood marked. And then I can start setting up my annotation code. So I tap on the little pen icon there, and then I tap on highlighter, and I can choose my highlighter size, and I want it to be pretty fat, so I'm going to leave it there. I could make it skinnier though if I wanted to. They had all these different highlighter sizes, but I like the thickest one. I'm going to touch the yellow, tap the screen, and highlight here. And then I'm also going to change the color to pink. Tap the screen, highlight again. I'm going to change the color to blue. Highlight again. Change the color to green. And highlight again. Then I'm going to pick up my pen, my ballpoint pen, in the second skinniest size. And I'm going to create my annotation key for this book. So yellow for me is going to be character development. Oh, that's still kind of fat. I don't like that. I'm going to make it smaller. Let's erase that. So let's do character development. Pink is going to be quotes I like. Or beautiful imagery. And blue is going to be plot development. And green is going to be themes I discover. All right, my handwriting looks a little sloppy, so I'm going to go to this circle, and I'm going to circle all of this text, and I'm going to convert it to type. There we go. And it has typed everything up for me. The book is blood marked. Yellow is character development. Pink is quotes I like. Plot development. And themes I discover. So this is how you use the notebook. And you have all your pen functions up here. You can use ballpoint, fountain, calligraphy pen, brush pen, highlighter, and these are all the different colors that you can use for your stylus pen. You've got red, orange, yellow, green, a lighter green, pink, blue, purple, and gray. Now the highlighter colors are different. You have these 4 that you can choose from, but the pen, you have a bunch more that you can select from. So I love the notebook. I'll show you some of the notebooks I have done. Here is my color coding and cast of characters for the vacation, which was our last book club book. I didn't convert it there. And then Wings of Ruin, same thing. I have my annotation key here. But you can also add other notes if you would like to. That's just what I like to use this for now. That's what I've been using it for. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is direct access to my library ebooks. So this device is connected directly to Overdrive. So if I tap on this I'm on the main page now, the main home page. If I tap on where it says borrow ebooks from your public library, it's going to show me all the books that I've currently on hold, and it's going to give me some suggestions on things that I could borrow in the future. If I go back to my home page, it's going to also view my holds. So I've got Looking for Jane, which is my next book club pick. I have that on hold. It'll be ready in 1 week. Gunkel, I'm listening to the audiobook right now, but the ebook will be available in 1 week. And then Pumpkinheads, I have that on hold as well. I can also use Overdrive to purchase books. If I go back into that same function and click on ebooks, this is going to take me into the Rakuten Kobo selection of books, and it's going to show me what they have for sale right now. And I can look at the prices, and I can purchase the books right from this device. I don't have to go to a different website to purchase the books. I can purchase them right here. So if I tap on Educated, which I do want to buy, not today, but I do want to buy it, and just tap on buy this book. All right, if I want to add it to my wish list, I can do that as well. If I want to look at some different categories of books and choose some new ebooks to purchase, let's look at mystery and suspense and see what they have going on. It gives me a full list of different books in the mystery and suspense category. They're going to have We Solve Mysteries available. So you do have quite a few books to choose from. The Graveyard Shift. And it's going to give you quite a few books you can choose from. Let's look at romance. Got quite a few titles there, and you can buy books, or if you have Kobo Plus, you can also borrow tons of books from the Kobo Plus library. I am going to research how many books you can borrow through Kobo Plus and put that in the description box, because I don't know that off the top of my head. I'm also going to research how many books this e-reader will hold, because I don't know that off the top of my head, and I'll put that in the description box as well. But this is a way for you to buy books directly with this e-reader. Okay, now let's go back to talking about the notebooks. One thing I forgot to show you is the fact that you can scroll back and forth between notebooks and a book that you're currently reading. So I'm looking at my Bloodmark notes. If I scroll down, I can go right back to, it's going to show me the most recent book I was reading, and I can go right back to where I was in my book. So I just swipe down, go back to my notebook, swipe down, and go back to the book I was reading. Super easy to go back and forth between your notebook and the book that you are currently reading. Another thing I love is the fact that the buttons on this e-reader are reversible. So I'm right-handed, so I'm using the buttons on the right-hand side, but you can flip this e-reader and it will allow you to use the buttons on the left-hand side as well. So perfect, right? It's good for right-handed people or my lefty friends. Another great thing about this e-reader is the fact that you can save words in the dictionary. So let's go back to The Couple Next Door, and let's just pull up a word to save in the dictionary. Let's see if I see one. Let me touch the word evidence. It's going to pull up a couple different options. I can highlight it, which I do want to do. Let's highlight it in pink. But I also want to know the definition for this word. So it's going to give me the definition, evidence, a noun, the available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or position is true or valid. If I want to save that word, which I do, I just tap add to my words, and it tells me they're added to my words. So where are those words saved? I'm going to tap at the top of my page. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go to more, activity, And here are my words saved. Typically when I go to this page, it shows me my stats on reading a book. I'm going to go to my words and it tells me all the words I've saved. Let's look at evidence, and it brings me the entire definition here. I love this. I absolutely love the fact that it saves the words I've looked up. If you follow me on my reading journal, you know that every month I'm looking for a new word. I'm looking for a new word to add to my journal as my new word for the month that I've discovered while I was reading. Evidence is not going to be one of them, but I've got words like centrifugal, camembert, charcuterie. I just looked charcuterie up just to get a definition, a clear definition of what it is, because I see different people all over the internet saying they're making a charcuterie board. And I'm like, is that really a charcuterie board? That's why I looked that up. But words like parapet and balustrade, I have no idea what those two words mean. So I wanted to look those up. So discovering new words and being able to save them is so cool to me. A great function of this e-reader. This e-reader also saves my annotations, as I showed you before. You tap the top of the page, pull up this little page at the bottom that has the little turn down page icon, and all of the annotations that I've made in this book will pop up. And I can just tap on the one that I want to review, and it comes right up. I can tap it again, choose a different annotation, and review that one as well. So I love the fact that it saves all of my annotations. Okay, I've talked to you about all the things that I love about this e-reader. I think I've gone over everything that I really, really love about it. Now let's talk about a couple of cons. So one of the things I have found is that sometimes this stylus will glitch and it won't highlight. If I choose the quote at the very top of a page, sometimes it will not highlight. It did it there, but let me see if I can find a spot where it won't pull it up. Well, okay, of course it wants to behave nicely because we have company. But every once in a while, it will not highlight the page. And that is not a deal breaker for me, because what I do is I just choose to document that quote in another way. I would circle it with the stylus, or I would underline the passage in the same color that I've been using to annotate with the highlighter, if that makes sense. So if I was using pink as my highlight color to annotate, I would just use a pink pen to make my circle, which I'll go ahead and do that now so you can see exactly what I mean. I would just use my pink ink, and I can even make the ink stand out more by making it fatter, thicker. So I still know that this is quotes I like or beautiful imagery. So this is not a deal breaker for me that every once in a while the pen glitches. I just wanted to be honest with you and tell you that that is something that I have discovered. A second con for me is sometimes my page turning button has stuck and it wouldn't turn the page. And I have not spilled water on this. I don't eat when I'm using it. So I will say that, okay, it's doing it right now. It was pausing a second. But I will say that the one day that I discovered the buttons were sticking was a day that I had been reading for hours and hours and hours. Maybe about 3 hours I had been using this device. So maybe it was just tired. I don't know. I only had the buttons stick one day in the last like 2 weeks, but it it was pretty repetitive that one day. But I think it was because either I had a lot of annotations in that book or I had been reading for a long time. That's what I'm going to attribute it to, because right now it's flipping through the pages just fine. And I haven't had any issues with it since then. But the particular book that I was reading was a 700-page book. I had a bunch of annotations in it, and I had been reading for hours. So maybe that's why it was starting to stick. I don't know. But again, I just want to be honest with you and tell you what I have found. But the button sticking that one day when I have been reading for hours is not a deal breaker for me. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is being careful where you place your hand on the device when you are writing. So if I want to write a note here, I do need to be careful of not laying my hand down on the screen, because sometimes when you do that, and of course it wants to behave because we have company. Sometimes when you do that, it'll cause your page to jump forward some pages, or it will cause your page to just do things that you don't want it to do. So I'm going to try to write a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to change my pen to black, and I'm just going to write a little bit. You do have to be careful. And this really, to me, is just learning the device. And I also think that kind of holding your hand at a straight up angle gives you a better effect when writing as well. So again, it just comes with practice. How you can hold the stylus when you're writing in a way that it won't affect the page moving and skipping. All right, so again, these are not deal breakers for me. I've been having so much fun using this e-reader. When it's time for me to read, I get so excited about using this e-reader. It is so much fun. It is so fun, and it feels like I am reading a physical book because I'm able to annotate the way I love without taking up space in my library. I love it, love it, love it. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is the Kobo Plus library. So let's go into the Kobo Plus library, because this is also, in my opinion, a con. This library is not comparable to Kindle Unlimited. Why do I say that? Because the books that are in here are not the highly popular books that a lot of us want to read. A lot of these books in Kobo Plus are books I've never heard of, authors I've never heard of, and why that in and of itself is not bad, to mix in authors I've never heard of and books I've never heard of. I don't find that Kobo Plus offers the highly popular books that are on my TBR. So this subscription is $9.99 a month with the option to listen to the audiobooks as well. But it needs to be books that I want to read, not just random books that I, haven't heard of. So I do have the Kobo Plus right now on a trial basis because I really just wanted to see what features it would offer. I don't know that I'm going to keep the Kobo Plus because I haven't found a whole lot of books on here that I want to read. Not a lot of books that are on my TBR. Yeah, so that to me is a con. I hope that at some point they will expand their library and have access to more popular books to add to Kobo Plus. Can I buy books that are popular? Absolutely, because they have plenty of books for purchase inside the Kobo library that you can purchase. Okay, regular popular books that a lot of people are talking about, that a lot of people read. But in terms of borrowing books, the inventory is more limited than Kindle Unlimited. All right, but if I want to go and I want to go to Overdrive and I want to purchase a book, I can definitely do that like I showed you before. Even books that are at my library, if I want to buy it instead of just borrowing it, I can do that through Overdrive. So the question is, do I think this device is worth it? And my answer is absolutely. Absolutely, this device, this e-reader, this Kobo Libra Color e-reader is worth the investment, in my humble opinion. You do have to buy the pen separately. Some people consider that a con. I'm kind of neutral on that. You do have to buy the cover separately. Some people might consider that a con. I don't see any problem with it. The pen does magnetize and it sticks right to the e-reader. However, I keep mine stored in this pocket. This was a tight fit the first time I put it in here, but now it fits just fine. And I have a space to keep my Stylus pen right there. Now, am I going to give up my Kindle? No, I'm not going to give up the Kindle because I do appreciate the fact that Kindle Unlimited has some books that I can borrow from that library that are very popular. I can just read it and give it right back. I wish I could transfer those books over to my Kobo, but I can't do that, not with Kindle Unlimited. You can, however, move your ebooks that you own, that you purchase from Kindle, you can move those over to your Kobo. Someone asked me in a recent video how you do that. So I'm not going to be the one to show you that because I'm not a super techie person, but I am going to link 2 videos down below that helped me to understand the process of moving my purchased Kindle books over from Amazon onto my laptop and then onto my Kobo. So it's a bit of a process, but it's not complicated. And I was able to move all of my books that I purchased over in about 30 minutes, maybe even less than that. Once I downloaded the app and the plugin and understood the process for downloading the books, converting the books, and then loading them onto my Kobo, it really was very simple. Y'all, seriously, I'm not a techie person. I am not a techie. So if I can do it, girl, you can do it, okay? Trust me on that. You can do it. So what I want to do is link 2 videos down in the description box that helped me to understand the process and to get my purchased books from Amazon, from my Kindle to my laptop to my Kobo. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now, that is going to do it for me for this video. So that is going to do it for me for this video. The bottom line to me is the Kobo is a great investment. There's so many things you can do with the Kobo. You can take notes, you can annotate, you can draw, you can write, you can purchase books here. You can have your Kindle books deposited here into this e-reader. So many things that you can do with this Kobo Libra Color. I have also heard that you can go online with this device. I have not seen any reason to do that, but I have heard people saying that you can also go online with this e-reader. I have a laptop, I have a phone. I use those devices for going online. I don't know that I will ever see a reason to use this to go online, but if I do, I may come back and make a third part to this video and just tell you some different things that I discover while I am using it. But I love it. I think I would give this an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10 for a score. Absolutely love it. So I am going to link everything that I have here in this video down in the description box. The pen, which is sold separately, the e-reader, the cover, and the case. I'm going to link all of these things down in the description box so you can check it out if you're interested. And I thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post new content right here for you. For all of my OGs, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a great week. Hope you read some good books, and I hope that your week is full of love, joy, and most of all, peace. See you next time.